going live on YouTube, so
Okay.
here we go.
I'm gonna
Uh,
start letting people in
yeah, go for it. We'll
because it's
get
nine
everybody in and
o'clock,
say good morning.
and I'm gonna enable it.
Oh yeah, I wanted to add Riz as a co-person, co-host,
Yes.
host, and then allow everybody to share. Okay,
Okay. And then
meeting.
you ready to record to cloud?
Oh yeah, let's record the sucker. All right. Good morning, guys. How's it going? Wait, did you press that, Joanne? Okay.
Yeah, she did. Only
You're
one of
like,
us can
I went
record.
to press it, and then it said it. And I was like, was that us?
You're too slow.
Oh,
Your girl is on it.
I know.
Always on top of things.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, I love your background. That's so cute.
Yeah. I'm the social media, so I gotta show something in my background over
That's
here.
right.
You know what I mean? So hopefully everyone is excited. Welcome back for those who joined us yesterday, and the new faces we're seeing today. Of course, we start off with where you're at. Where are you coming from? And please put
Yes.
your cameras on, please. We want to see your faces.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. In the chat. Yep. Good morning from Las Vegas.
And I'm here in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, 30 minutes from Philly if no traffic.
Okay, we got Tampa, Florida, Flagstaff, Philly. Oh, also Philly. Yay.
Oh, nice. Yay.
All right, California, Fairfax, Virginia. Oh, there's also Fairfax, California. Phoenix. Okay, cool. We got a lot of Florida. Well, because you guys are East Coast, you're already like ready for a cocktail by now.
Right?
We're
Yeah.
early birds over here. Oh, we
It's
got
all good.
Denver, Colorado. Okay, there you go, right in the middle. Washington, D.C. Okay, we got a good group here.
Yeah. And I'm sure people will come as they come, right? So
Yeah, I
I'm so
noticed
glad.
the Eventbrite didn't send out another one, so I literally just sent it out to the 100 people that registered through mine.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway,
I know it's sometimes tech is great when it's great, and then sometimes you got to really work it and make sure that everyone comes on, you know? So we're glad, like I said, everyone is here, and I love the fact that we see familiar faces from yesterday. So if you were here yesterday, give us a golden nugget that you got from Wendy's class on luxury, how she went from selling 300 to 500,000 to up to $12 million listing. So give us some golden nuggets. Let's refresh some memories of people who were here yesterday or not, and then we'll get started. Okay, no worries if you're at work and can't open camera. We understand.
mindset makes the uh mindset makes the difference. That is very, very true. Whole system is awesome. Inspirational about mindset. She makes me feel very achievable. Yes, I know. Mindset's a tough thing to like master. So ad targeting. Awesome. Rich people have money and they're not afraid to spend it. Yes.
Yes.
I know, right? That was so refreshing. They're like, no problem. Yes, if I could do it, you could do it. All right. I love that.
Yeah, awesome,
You
awesome.
guys are paying attention. How exciting. It's hard because when we're running the call here, like I'm just if you guys are looking down, I'm just assuming you're writing really good notes about what we're talking.
Right.
I have
Exactly.
to think that. When I'm on stage, same thing. I was like, oh my God, is everybody on their phone scrolling and looking at Facebook or are they taking notes? I really don't. I'm gonna say they're taking notes. That way I feel better.
And Joseph has a good idea. He's like, I thought we might be tested at the end. Maybe we'll do a quiz.
Oh, there you go. Oh my
Whoever gets all the
God.
right answers wins a prize. How about that
I'm
for
a
next time?
terrible test taker.
How about that? And you can't watch the replay. We'll give you the replay like 2 days later.
Oh my
So
gosh,
there's a
that's
deadline.
funny.
But anyway, again, welcome back to everyone who came yesterday and all the new people today. We're so glad to have you. Wendy, do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, so I met Riz quite a while ago, actually, and she started talking about social media, like in Instagram, and like I told you guys yesterday, I'm like a softball mom, Facebook girl. My kids laugh because that's like so old school, and apparently Instagram is where it is, so Facebook is still where it is. I'm still very good at Facebook, but Instagram is also where it is. And, you need to kind of know what you're doing there. And there's so many things like tricks that you can like launch your Instagram like super easy and you don't even realize it. Like, say, someone else is doing something amazing. Riz is going to talk about how to leverage that, and you didn't even have to create it. So, lots of cool stuff. So, I'm super excited to learn from her. She is amazing at all of this good stuff. So get your notes ready. She's gonna be dropping some bombs.
Yes. And so, just so you guys know that we've been implementing these things, we've been using these platforms, these apps. Wendy has used them. I'm using them. There's so many like AI things out there, so don't get lost in the AI, because sometimes like keeping it simple is the best way to go. So I'm going to show you that part of things, and then I'm going to show you a couple of AI platforms that I personally use. Again, there's so many out there that you're going to be like in learning mode forever because AI changes every day. So don't worry about that part. The whole point is for you to build your brand on social media so people can like you, trust you, get to know you, right? Because the more people that get to know you on social media, they'll trust you. They'll even give you referrals because they trust you that much. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And a little bit about me, real quick, just so you know who I am. I came to this country in the late 1980s. Maybe some of you were not born at that time. I don't know. But we came here as refugees, and I didn't speak a word of English. Okay. So English is literally my third language. Right. So I literally came, I was 5. I went right to kindergarten. I had no clue what the teacher was talking about. I was great because we just played in kindergarten back then. Now, if I was a refugee and I came to this country, I would fail kindergarten 100%, right? Because now we have homework in kindergarten. But anyway, I learned the language through going to school, and my mom got like hooked on phonics for us and all these things because she wanted us to succeed in school. And then we taught my parents English. My dad knew a little bit, but we taught them English. But then we also stuck to our language too, as well. Because you can't forget that. So a lot of people tell me, "Oh my gosh, were you born here? Because you don't even have an accent." And I'm like, "No," but I was like, I adapt pretty well, and hence of adaption as well to social media. So I learned the algorithm, and I'm going to teach you how I went from 300 followers to 90,000 plus followers in 90 days. Isn't that crazy? That's like 1,000 followers a day. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to, like I said, take notes, and you will get the replay, right, Wendy, in a few
Yep.
days when we get this together. So just relax and, think of whatever questions. Q&A will be at the end. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen right now.
Will you
And
be giving us a 50-50, or can we phone a friend?
I know I was laughing at that. I'm like, let's see what happens. Let's see how many quizzes I get. If I get one quiz, then no. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me put it in presenter mode over here. Let's go. Here we
Right.
are.
And as far as AI goes, I know a lot of agents are super scared that AI is going to take over our job.
Yeah,
And the thing is I don't feel like that's going to happen. It's the
right.
agents using AI that are going to
Right.
take over your job. So just, embrace it and use it, and you'll do just fine.
Yeah. I mean, AI robots showing house tours, it's crazy because we know there was a story, right? There was like some bot and it traveled from like, west to east, and Philadelphia beat up that robot. So can you imagine AI robots showing homes? Can you see the abuse that people would do to
Oh
the
my
robot?
God, right?
That would be crazy. So we're okay. It's still a human to human relationship with the biggest investment that people are going to buy or sell. So you guys are good. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If you are not using AI, you will be left behind. because people are going to work smarter, not harder. You don't want to work harder. You want to work smarter when it comes to all of this. And you can seriously make so much content. Like I make all my content on Sunday and I will post it out. I'll schedule it out. It's great. There's scheduling tools and stuff like that within Instagram. You can schedule stuff within Instagram in itself. So let's get started. Told you a little bit of who I am. Like I said, I came here in the late 80s. I was an entrepreneur at 6 years old. I was drawing and I was selling my artwork to these kids. And I'm like, bring $1 and I'll draw you whatever you want. And so that's what they did. I think minimum wage was like $5 an hour at that point. So I was making pretty good much money, on a daily basis. And I would just give it to my parents, like, here you go. I made some money for you. And so that was great. So that actually led me to a career in graphic design and visual communications, which included web design, photography, video editing, basically anything visual. Like that's me. I know all those programs. So over 17 years ago, my husband and I, Arshad, launched a printing business where we were literally printing for real estate agents. We were doing postcards and business cards and yard signs and like whatever they needed, photography, videography for their listings. We were there for them. And I told my husband, I was like, we're doing literally all the marketing for them. So wouldn't it make sense that if like we got our license, what about if I get my license? He's like, I don't know because you don't know the business. It's like so new. There's probably so many things to it. But if you want to do it, go ahead. And I did. I got my license. And then, down the line, Arshad got his license. So that was amazing because I would never think he would get his license. But real estate is a game changer, as most of you know. That's why you're in this business. So now, fast forward to 2025, we have a little over 13 years experience in the real estate industry. I'm actually one of the agents serving on our National Agent Advisory Council for our brokerage, which has over 83,000 agents. I think it's more now. We kind of lose count on a weekly basis here. But I was also a core leader for our one EXP, which is diversity and inclusion, because I'm like, I want to be included. I wear a scarf. Can I be included? And I know everyone else wants to be included. I was like, can we do something? So that was started with a few leaders, back in I think 2018. And then one thing about me, and if you know me or the people who know me, I'm always willing to help because I want you to win. And Wendy is the same exact way. Like that's why her and I gel so well because we're all about giving back. We're all about like helping agents thrive. You know what I mean? Like we'll share the secret sauces. Like shared so many sauces yesterday, right? With her luxury and everything. So that's what we're all about, right? And our mission, both of our mission actually, is to empower agents globally, helping them elevate their business. So we're like known in the AI industry, lead generation, social media, marketing, and team building. So we continue to make an impact on the real estate industry. And that is our goal, is just to, like do something, right? So we can sleep better at night. If we can help one agent take their business from what they're doing to maybe quitting their 9 to 5 job or maybe retiring their parents or whatever your goal is, whatever your why is, or maybe you want to invest into properties, whatever it is, we want to help you get there, right? So that's just a little bit about who Wendy and I are. All right, so this is the agenda for today. The 90-day growth strategy, how to optimize your profile, post the right content, use hashtag effectively, and also now they have SEO. So we'll talk about that as well, how they're using keywords in descriptions to kind of push things out, but people still follow hashtags, so that's still important today. Engagement and community building, how to interact and how to increase your visibility and follower count. If you do well on these platforms, you actually get monetized, and there's other ways to get monetized as well. And just how to turn your followers into clients and just leverage brand partnerships. So we'll talk about that as well. And then, of course, the tools and, for content creation, for analytics, the automation to sustain that growth. Okay, so that is our agenda for today. All right. So, as of right now, there are 5.41 billion social media users around the world as a start of this month, right? July 2025. So that's about almost 66% of the total global population, which is insane. So according to recent estimates, Instagram has about 2.37 billion monthly active users worldwide, with some saying that it'll probably reach 2.4 billion by the end of this year. So, Instagram is just more than a social platform. It's a powerful tool for real estate agents to attract clients, showcase properties, and establish authority in the market. So, I'm going to break down a couple of key reasons why Instagram is essential and how you can use it effectively. So, why is Instagram a game changer for agents? Well, it has visual appeal, right? Show, don't just tell. Think about it. What catches your eye first? A beautiful stage living room or a long paragraph describing it? And Instagram is just built for that visual, right? As real estate agents, we can showcase properties in the most, like the best way possible, right? Using high quality photos, walkthrough videos, before and after, makes a huge impact. Also, your targeted reach, right? You have to get in front of the right people. So you don't want to just post up something and hope people just follow you. There is actually a system behind it, right? To get the right followers, which will ultimately become your fans. Your fans will like share your videos, they'll refer people to you. It's going to go crazy if you do this properly, right? So, like I said, it's all about doing the right thing. You can use your location based hashtags to grow a local following, right? Because you want to get local business. And, you want people to find you in this manner. Community building is another thing, is, to build trust, not just followers. You have to build those relationships on this platform. You don't want to just post and ghost. You don't want to do that. You want to post, you want to engage, you want to, as soon as you see a comment, comment back. Instagram loves it when you have people on their platform. So when you say something like, link in the comments, or that's taking them outside of Instagram does not like that, and actually all the platforms don't like that when you take them away from their platform. So the more you actually get people to stay on Instagram, the more the algorithm works for you, and they will put your stuff out there more. So you know a lot of people are like, oh, Instagram hates me, right? It doesn't show my stuff, right? Well, maybe because you're working against the algorithm, right? You're not moving with the algorithm. And I'll talk about, what are the key factors in algorithm to get the most reach. And so another thing again is, you are an expert, right? You went to real estate school, you got your license, everything is good. But if you're not sharing these market insights and the updates, then no one's going to know who you are, right? Now these days, whenever a seller is interviewing agents, what do? They Google you. So if you're not coming up on their Google search, they might find somebody else instead. So you have to make sure that, you do these right things on keywords and all these other things to, kind of impress the people that you're going to work for. Because if you're not on social media, then they're going to be like, how are you going to market my house, right? To get the most buyers, most eyeballs on my place, right? So, a lot of things have changed over the years. If you didn't have social media before, not a big deal, whatever, right? You put it on, especially during pandemic, right? You put it on MLS, you get an offer in an hour. It's not like that now. So you need to be the expert. You need to share, the price trends, new developments, what's going on in the neighborhood, all these good stuff. Lead generation also is another key factor, and it's not just about your branding, it's a lead magnet, right? So you have to make sure that your bio is optimized with a clear call to action. You want to use features like DM automation, lead capture forms, and action buttons, call, email, directions, things like that to convert followers into clients. And again, we're going to talk about all of these tools in the next slides. So let's talk about the algorithm. So the algorithm, how it works is who you interact with. So the more someone likes, comments, shares, or DMs your content, the more Instagram shows them your post. So you might have people who literally go on your profile and they will turn on the notifications because they love your content. And anytime it comes up, they get like a notification, so and so posted, right? And that's really, really important. So it's not just about like, again, posting and ghosting. You have to do like, the correct posts, videos to get that engagement. Because there's, like I said, how many did we say? 2 billion users that come on Instagram every single month. 2 billion. So why is your content special? So you have to think about that. It doesn't have to be an extravagant production, but it has to be valuable for them to stay on your content. And Instagram shows you also more of the type of content you engage with, like reels, photos, and certain topics. So say, for example, you have a user, they're always liking your post, sharing your post, commenting on your post, it also will reach their particular audience too, right? Because they're like, okay, this is, if this person likes it, then the people that they follow might like it, right? So you have to like think of so many things. Think of it like you have a store, right? And it's like word of mouth. Like who's going to come into your store, right? So social media is like that. It's literally your brand, it is your store, and you have the reach if you do the right things, right? And you have to work with the algorithm and not against the algorithm, right? So, your post is not just about reels. You could do photos, you could do carousel. Carousels are, for example, the post could read something like, here are 10 tips to declutter your house, right? Or what to get rid of in your house. Or here are some tips to, up your equity on your house, right? And then literally you just kind of swipe, 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 and then that's the carousel of things, right? Also using trending audio, captions, geolocation, and how people are engaging with it. So Instagram will push your content out to people who are interested in what you're posting. Right. And people love looking at houses, especially like the luxury houses, right? They love looking at that kind of stuff. They're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have that. And then you actually have the people who are like, oh, I can get that. Right. And so we're going to talk about that as well. And then there's like different sections in Instagram in itself, and there's different rules. There's the feed, right, where you scroll on through, and then there's stories. So this is like mostly people So when you're going through the feed, it's pretty much people that you follow or content that you may be interested if you search in Instagram in itself. As a user looking into Instagram, again, what you like, what you save, what you comment, what you share, what you DM, Instagram will push that kind of content to you. Your activity, what you watch, save, or share, how well the post fits your interest, new content is shown more, and how often you interact with that account. So that's what you have to keep in mind. You have to keep the user in mind. Okay, what kind of posts can I post to keep my followers engaged and get more followers that will like the kind of content that I create? So you have to think about the user end, right? Not like, oh, I think this will do well just because, right? You have to see, what they like. And sometimes like when I was at 300 followers on this particular account, like I was looking at like my followers, you know what I mean? Like what are they posting? What are they liking? You know what I mean? And things of that nature because what happens is sometimes they'll tag you in particular posts. And I'm like, okay, they wanted me to see this. You know what I mean? So all of that stuff is kind of like research in the beginning when you're a small account. You know what I mean? So you got to get to know your audience. You have to build a relationship. You have to see what it is, right? I mean, like I've had people who followed me and I made them unfollow me because I'm like, you're not doing anything. Like, you know what I mean? You're not even on here. So, like I kind of do a cleanup of my followers because whenever I post something, it goes to them first. You know what I mean? So you got to keep that in mind. And another thing that I didn't do in the beginning, which I'm going to tell you right now, when you get followers, like when you get someone following, DM them. Say, hey, thanks for the follow, and get to know that person, right? Because it's the DMs and all that stuff. Build rapport, build relationships with people. But when you get super, super busy, like if you get 90,000 followers on there, you can't do that every single time. Then there's other automations that you can use that will kind of do that for you. And then you can see who you need to talk to and who's just kind of like kicking tires and just there for fun and things like that. So Instagram again rewards content that keeps people on the app. So focus on people who actually engage with you, right? The comments, tell people to save this to watch for later, things like that. So when you keep people on there, Instagram will reward you by pushing out your content, right? And also, if they rewatch your reel on loop, that's another great point too. So sometimes people create these reels and it kind of looks like it's never ending. So you don't even know when it started and when it ended. Those are like the best ones. So, you can get a little bit creative with that, like in the future. So optimizing your profile for growth. So your username has to be searchable, right? So this is my brand called Expand Levels. This is where I help entrepreneurs thrive. So I'm very clear on what I do, right? And then I say who I am, AI social media lead gen expert. And then I say like my achievement. And then if you see right here in the links, you can actually have like 3 or 4 links over here. So a lot of times people will use, like Linktree or Beacons or, something like that where all the links are in one place. You can do that as well. But the people who like your content will go into your profile. And then they might click on these external links, right? And then there's also these highlighted stories and stuff like that. If people want to get to know you more, you can add all this stuff over here. Um, and then also make sure this is really, really, really important, right? If you have a logo, fine, great. But make sure you put your picture. That is really important because, right, it's a relationship building situation. You want to build a relationship. If you don't have a profile picture, they're not really going to care about a logo. You know what I mean? They want to get to know you. You are the brand behind your logo. You know what I mean? And your logo could be your face. It could be you, right? You might not even need a logo. You could just have a profile picture, right? So make sure you're very, very clear in your bio, okay? And there's a lot of tools that you can use where you can take your picture and then you can put whatever color in the background, and we'll talk about that later on, okay? And again, be very clear on what you post, right? Like I'll post, like in this particular one, I'll post, motivational, like how to do certain things and stuff like that. I do have a production brand as well, and that doesn't have, I think that has maybe almost 2,000 followers on it, but I get like luxury leads on there. So you don't have to have a crazy following for production, right? But now I'm working on the production to get that to what I have here. You know what I mean? But using the brand and everything to sell houses. But for that particular brand, for the production brand, it's all going to be local, right? Because this particular brand that I have with the 90,000 plus followers, I have people from all over the place, like, India, Dubai, London, obviously United States, Canada, all over the place. But the other account, I'm working with, the algorithm, and I'm just going to do local location only. So we'll see how that goes. But everything is like research, you know what I mean? So everything will change maybe on a daily, weekly basis. So just be up to date with, things like that. And also make sure you follow Instagram on IG because they have a lot of tips as well. Content strategy to go viral. Now, we talk about the 2 second hook rule. It's either you make it or you break it. Okay. So you have 2 seconds to grab their attention or they'll scroll past, right? I think now we are worse than a goldfish. Goldfish has a 10-second attention span. We have 2 seconds. That's what we come down to 2 seconds, right? So starting with a
Yeah.
strong visual or bold statement that stops the scroll. Okay. So use big text or captions right away, especially for people who are at work, right? And they're just scrolling by. If you don't have text, they're going to scroll because they have no idea what's going on in the video. They're going to be like pass, right? So make sure captions are super, super important. You can also ask a relatable question or a powerful claim. You can show movement, right? Not just like stiff and, here's a big caption, right? That's not really going to work. Like, be engaging, right? And stuff like that. And definitely have your face. You know what I mean? The first 2 seconds shouldn't be like a picture of a house or something, right? It should be you. Remember, you are the brand, okay? You are the brand. It's you. And avoid slow intros. Jump right into the value. Get to the point, okay? If you don't hook them in 2 seconds, the algorithm stops pushing your video. Okay, so it's really important, right? So you have 2 seconds to get their attention, 2 seconds only, and then right after that, if they like what they see, they might watch the whole entire video. And Instagram will reward you if they watch the whole entire video. They'll reward you even more if they watch it again, if they watch it on loop, right? Because you're keeping them on the platform, right? So if someone is scrolling, they don't see anything that they like, they will get off the app. So if they like what they see on yours, they will follow you and they might even go into your Instagram account and see what else you have. So the longer you keep that user on their platform, the algorithm will show your video to more people. So that's really, really important. Okay. The 2 second hook. So what do you post besides home tours? Okay. You could do tutorials, how-to videos, how to buy your first home step by step, how to stage your home to sell fast, how to boost your home's value on a budget. You could do behind the scenes, the day in the life of a realtor, what happens during a showing or open house, conversations with your team or clients, obviously with their permission, before and after renovations, kitchen flips, bathroom makeovers, curb appeal, transformations. You can also use trending audio and fast transitions for the reels and your TikToks, right? So this kind of applies to like all the platforms, right? Because YouTube has shorts, TikTok has their thing, right? And then Instagram has their reels. So, this is all for like short term content, right? YouTube, of course, has long form content, which is great for those long home tours. But if you are using YouTube, what you want to do is you want to make a quick, like 15 to 30-second tour. You can even do like a fast, like loop of the house. You know what I mean? And you can maybe show the first floor and say, if you want to watch the full video, click on the link below. Because in YouTube, you can actually put the link of the full video in the short itself. So, they're all pretty much the same way as far as algorithm. I started with Instagram first. I'm like, let me figure out Instagram's algorithm, and then I'll move on to the next platform. So now I'm working on YouTube at this point, and stuff like that. And then another thing to post besides home stores is storytelling, right? Like client journeys. So, my client moved from New York to Florida. Here's why. Emotional wins. Maybe you had this buyer that just like nothing was working out for them. And then you finally got them approved with the lender and, like they bought their first house, or dream homes, right? My seller wanted to buy a bigger house, growing family, whatever. And this is what they wanted in their dream house. And this is what we found them, right? Investor success. If you have any investors, right? You can share that story. My client wanted to build wealth, passive wealth for themselves. And so they didn't know what to do. And this is how I helped them get their first multi-family property, right? Or first commercial building, whatever the case, right? Another thing you could highlight is walkthroughs of local parks, coffee shops, schools, or local businesses. You can also do local events in whatever city for families and retirees, right? Here's the best place for you to hang out with your family. Here's the best place, for basketball tournament, whatever the case, right? See what's popular and what's going on, and do a survey, you know what I mean, on your Instagram post. What would you like to do for an event? If we were to host an event, what would you like to see in that event, right? Get that engagement, especially if you're doing the local followings. You could do market tips and updates, right? 3 things to know before buying in this market. What a $500,000 house gets you in blah, blah, blah city in 2025. Now, I have seen, like, especially Texas videos. They're like, what $500,000 gets you in blah, blah. And they show this, like, $5 million mansion. You know what I mean? But that 500,000 is like the down payment. You know what I mean? So don't like deceive them like that because I know that pisses people off. Like if you go in the comments, like, you made it sound like it was 500,000 in total, or you know what I mean? So just be clear in your stuff. What a $500,000 down payment will get you and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
That's
Uh,
funny though. It works. It
you
gets
know what I
them.
mean? It works, but it's like you might piss some people off, but I'm just like super clear in my message, like
Yeah,
what
I
it is.
never thought about doing that.
You know what
That's
I mean? And stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? And then like with the seller's permission, you can share like even their story. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is what their story is and this is why they're selling, right? A lot of people like are so think, why are they selling their house? Okay, well, I'll tell you with their permission, right? So put it in a video. Mistakes to avoid is another good one, right? Top 3 mistakes buyers make, why your home isn't selling and how to fix it. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you're not just doing home tours all the time. It's not a bad thing to do home tours all the time, but you can mix it up. Another thing to do, which I'm seeing a lot, are skits and humor, right? It's like agent versus client expectations, realtor pet peeves, using trending audio for like funny, engagement and things like that. So, I saw one the other day and the guy was like, if you make this ball into this hoop, then I will list your property for 1%, right? And then so the so-called seller, he throws the ball and he knocks it off. He's like, yeah, it's 3%. You know what I mean? So,
I saw that.
they do like funny stuff like that. You know what I mean? And stuff. So they'll do like skits and things of that nature. I saw another one where the guy literally was like, let me show you how fast I can show you this house tour. He's literally running a marathon in this like big house, you know what I mean? All out of breath and everything, you know what I mean? But it's like funny, right? So, people love humor. So, and if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. But, if you wanted to, you can go in the explore page of Instagram and just put like, funny real estate. You know what I mean? And you'll see so many. And then you can get some ideas, right? You could do myth busting stuff, right? You don't need 20% down payment. Here's the truth. Renting is cheaper, not always. So you can talk about that. And then, of course, your personal brand content, your why as a realtor. Why do you do this? Like what's your purpose, right? Motivational posts, values behind your brand name. Like, why is your brand name if it's not your name? You know what I mean? So you can post stuff like that. You can also share, like, here and there about your family, like, life, work balance, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. I don't put my kids up on social media only because I'm like, there's crazy AI and predators out there. So I'm going to leave them alone. If you see my kids, it's always like the back of their heads. So I leave them alone. And then when they're 18, they can post if they want to, and stuff like that. So unless like I put like glasses or something on my kid, then maybe I'll put them up. But I just leave my kids alone. I'm like, I will share my life. You know what I mean? I leave my kids out of it. But you can put your kids on there if you want to. It's just a personal preference for me not to. Um, okay, so you don't have to post every day. If you want to post every day, that is definitely going to get you more followers, but you have to plan out your week for that. Minimum post 3, 4 reels per week minimum. If you're ambitious, like I said, 3 or 4 times a day. That's what I did. I posted 3 or 4 times a day for literally 90 days, and that's how I grew to 90,000 plus. You know what I mean? And it was like different variety of things. What I did was I found trending videos in my niche, and then I just like either recreated it or I just remixed it. So I'm going to show you all of that. So if you look over here in your Explore, you could put like real estate tips. So when I put real estate tips, this is like what I found at the time of this search. Okay. You don't want to find these and then do these a week later because it's going to change, right? Um, and what you want to do is you want to click on the video that has over 1 million views over here. Because those are the one that went viral. So you want to kind of study it and why did that went viral? Okay, let me look at their 2 second hook. Let me see how they did their video. What are their transitions? You know what I mean? Like there should not be any ohs, like there should not be any dead space in your video, right? Again, 2 seconds. We have 2 seconds attention span. So, if you have 2 seconds of silence, they're gone. They're gone, right? So again, you can make a similar video, and definitely record yourself, or then you can remix it. I will show you how we do that as well. And also, you can, you don't have to follow your competitors, like literally follow them, but just, make a note of the agents, maybe in different markets that are crushing it, right? And do the same thing in your market, like duplicate it. Don't reinvent the wheel. And so what we're seeing right now, again, we have attention span of 2 seconds. If you keep your videos between 7 to 15 seconds, you're definitely going to go for that maximum reach. So keep it short, keep it impactful, aim for that 7 to 15 seconds, hook them fast. First we said it was the first 3 seconds. I have to change it to 2. Now it's 2. We were at 3 before. Now we're at 2, right? So 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Anything longer than 15 seconds, again, make sure it's engaging. Obviously, if you're telling a story, you know what I mean? You're going to need more than 15 seconds to do that. You know what I mean? You can do like quick cuts or movements to maintain their interest. So they're not just watching you. But sometimes that goes viral too. You know what I mean? Depending on how interesting your story is, right? You can break it up visually. You can use different angles or zooms and things like that. Text overlays are great to keep the content dynamic. Again, avoid slow intros. Get straight to the point to hold their retention. Script your video. If you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. Like, what am I going to say? Well, you have ChatGPT and other AIs that will help you script it. So here's a prompt that I put. Write a 7 to 12 second viral skit for Instagram on seller tips of how to increase your home value. Make it sound like me. So the more you feed ChatGPT, of like who you are, it'll get to know you over the years. I've been using ChatGPT now for over 2 years when it first came out. So it knows who I am. Sometimes it's scary because I'm like, okay, tell me what I don't want to hear about myself. What's holding my growth back? You know what I mean? So it'll get to know you. So it literally gave me a script, right? 7 to 12 seconds. You know what I mean? On this. Want to boost your home's value without breaking the bank? Here's the hack. Paint. A fresh coat in neutral tones makes your space look bigger, newer, and buyers love it. Oh, and swap out those outdated light fixtures. Small changes, big money, ready to sell, call me, right? So again, nothing crazy, right? And then you're gonna like top that off with like visuals, and I'll show you what apps to use later on. Um, Again, you can tweak the script to make it sound like you. You can record the content at home, outdoors, or at your own listing. If you don't have a listing, that's okay. What Wendy and I have done is, in the beginning, go to new construction, call the new construction. Hey, can I market this and put this on my social media? They would love it. I've never heard someone say no in a new construction. So, and if they say no, go find something else. There's always a first for everything. But literally just go and record. You know what I mean? Don't overthink it. Don't think how you look in the camera. You know what I mean? If I was very conscious about how I looked in the camera, I would never put it up, because I'm like, oh, what are people going to say because I wear a scarf? I don't care. The right people will find me anyway. I'll find the right people. And also use good lighting to avoid grainy footage, right? Lighting is key, right? So don't be behind the window, right? Let the window like kind of face you so you get that light on you. Stuff like that. For reels and stories, you want to film vertically, so you got to hold your phone in portrait style. And then try to keep your phone steady. Use a tripod or a stabler if needed. There's so many things that you guys can get that literally you could just prop your phone on and then just press record and it'll be all good. And avoid over editing with filters, right? Like I had an agent, it was crazy. She was like, I would love to take you out to coffee one day. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. I'm telling you, no joke. Like I couldn't find her. I didn't know like who she was. Like I was like, is she even here? I give her a call. I'm like, hey, are you here? She's like, I'm here. She uses so much filters. I couldn't tell that that was her. It was the craziest thing. So don't use filters like that. You can use it to a degree, but don't do it like where we can't tell you who you are, right? Because they're like, I have no clue who you are. You know what I mean? Um,
Buddy.
you use the geolocation to also attract local followers. Again, I'm doing this in my other account. So you can tag your city or neighborhood in every post and story to show up in local searches. So you can use hashtags because there are still users that follow particular hashtags, right? Like me, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'll use hashtag Philly real estate. Dallas, you could do like Dallas home for sale or whatever homes for sale. You know what I mean? You could do particular hashtags that is for your local location. And then also when you go into like a coffee shop or any kind of store or whatever, you want to check in, take a quick, like ask them like, hey, can I just take a quick video? I want to put this on my social media, right? Hey, I'm getting coffee today at this great place that you probably didn't know existed. You know what I mean? And then you check in into that spot, right? Like in the location, when you add location, you can find businesses there as well. So make sure you do that as well. That will help with discoverability because sometimes people are like, okay, coffee shop near me or whatever. You know what I mean? They do that on this app, believe it or not. And also engage with others posting in your area. Make sure to like, comment, and follow to build a local network. So, for example, if you went to that coffee shop and if they have an Instagram page, right? And if they posted something, you know what I mean? Then you could be like, oh, I just tried that the other day. It was amazing, And then some people actually read all the comments, believe it or not. You know what I mean? And they'll follow you depending on how your profile looks or what content you have. So make sure that you're liking, commenting on other businesses as well. And then, create, like I said, those reels at local events or hotspots to appear on the explore page. And I'm going to show you also how to collaborate where you can tag them. And then if they accept, your reel will go on their page and will be on your page, which is awesome as well. I've done that a lot. And that was another way to push out, to the algorithms as well. You again can use the trending sounds, and I'm going to show you how you can find it. So in your professional dashboard, when you go into here, you go to trending audio, and then all of this trending audio will come up, right? So you can find up to 50 audio tracks currently trending on Instagram, and you can save them, right? But again, don't wait for next week because they might not be trending. You know what I mean? Like the time is gone. You know what I mean? So be very intentional about your trending audio, right? When it comes to this. And then again, use the sounds and the popular audio clips. What you want to do is you want to do it under 100,000, okay? Because over 100,000, it's like it's been done. You might be buried in that trend already. So again, in the instance of audio, has to be less than 100,000 K, right? So, and you'll see it's trending because it has an arrow. It'll have an arrow, 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 arrow. So also remember when we talked about in the slides where I was showing you, look for content over 1 million, you can actually see their audio and what they used and see if it's under 100,000. If it is, you can use that same one and make your own, video for it. So just keep that in mind, okay? Trending audios is another way. And again, stay updated on the viral trends, Again, follow Instagram's Reels tab and explore the pages, and just see what you get, right? And then this is pretty much almost like what your content is creating. This is what they're using, right? And then when you click on, say, like any audio, it'll show you all of the reels that have been posted, so you can get an idea. You're like, okay, well, this is 10,000 and this is trending, but how are people using it? You know what I mean? And find the one that got the most views, and again, copy and duplicate and use, right? But make it like your own video. You know what I mean? But make it related again to your niche, like what you're trying to get. Like what kind of audience are you trying to bring into your social media store, right? And again, act fast because trends fade quickly. You can also engage with the trending content as well. Like if you click on any of these, you can go and comment on, the like high performing reels as well. And you can interact with those posts to get the visibility for yourself.
Riz,
Yeah.
uh, we have a question. How do we search trending voiceovers? I didn't know there was a trending voiceover.
So this is everything. The trending audio is
Oh,
everything. So
okay.
mainly it's like I would say it's mainly like music and stuff. You know what I mean? And if there is a trending voiceover, it'll be here. But most times what I find is they kind of mix them together. You know what I mean? It'll be a voiceover with the audio track, right?
Got it.
So it might show up in here. You know what I mean? But that's what I look at, or if you're like, you're not feeling any of these at all, go back to what I said before. Go search the particular niche that you're looking for, like the real estate tips, and look for things over 1 million and make your own video, right? Just follow the rules, right? The 2-second hook, make sure you have no dead spaces in between, 7 to 15 seconds, right? And then later on you can build longer videos, but your whole point right now is to be discovered, right? That is your whole point right now. And again, test different styles, right? You can experiment with like lip syncs, right? There's lip syncs and voiceovers and people do that, right? Like um and then there's like background audio, see what matches with what you're saying, right? So you can use audio and do your own voiceover, you know what I mean? I do it all the time. Like I will do like a plain video voice, like I'll do my voice or whatever I'm doing, I'll use the chat GPT script, and then I'll try to find a audio that works. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not feeling any of these, but I'm gonna use it, and I will go into the settings and I will put the volume to 1, so you don't even hear it, so you just hear my voice. So that's another hack that a lot of people don't tell you, right? So again, we're sharing the secret sauces today. Okay, so another strategy that got us a lot of views is a thing called remix. So when you're scrolling on a post, you'll see this right here, which is the like the audio. So when you click on here, you can do like the remixes, right? And it's these 3 dots. So this is the audio that's used. And if you want to remix this exact thing, you go to the 3 dots and then you will remix it. But what I do first before anything, I will click on that audio. I will see how many reels it generated. So this one was 358, definitely less than 100,000, right? So then I'm like, okay, that's good. And then step 3, I'll go to 3 dots, I will remix, and then you have to add a clip or a sticker or text before sharing it because they don't want you to just like copy it and remix it. And then like I'll look at their description, what they had, and then I'll go to ChatGPT, make this sound like me. Don't plagiarize. Make it sound like me. And then I will post it up. You can add a location, you could tag people. Like, um if this like resonate, like if you have a team, like sometimes I'll tag my team, you know what I mean? Like this is once you get a seat at the table, you realize people ain't all that. So what he's talking about is, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, this person makes billions of dollars or millions of dollars, but when you sit at the table, you're like, man, this guy is not that sharp, or this person's not that smart. So sometimes you have so much more talent than a lot of people, but the difference is that you're not consistent and you don't have discipline. So you just need to get those two things and you'll be okay, I promise. And then at the end, I always say, make sure to follow my brand for more motivation and inspiration, right? And then as soon as I post that, I will put the hashtags in the comments, right? Because what did we say before? Likes, comments, shares, DMs, those are the things that will push your stuff through. And I put it here just so it'll push it through for me. And again, people do follow hashtags, and there's a difference of opinion. Some people are like hashtags don't work anymore, and some are like no, it does. And I say it does because people follow some of these. And when you're looking for a hashtag, again, make sure it's under 100,000. Like 100,000 to like 500,000 for the hashtag. Mostly 100,000 or less. It'll go pretty good. Don't do ones that are like 1,000 hashtags. Under 100,000 is pretty good. So, this is the ones that we remixed and it went viral for us because we posted at the right time. That's another thing too. Like when you go to your dashboard, you can look at your analytics and you can see when your audience is on. Post on that day, post at that time, you'll be good to go. So this is like within our niche, right? Like motivational, entrepreneur, go after your dreams kind of things. Um, our first one that went viral was the one with Kevin Hart. When we posted this, we had less than 100 views, and I was gonna delete it. I was like, it's been 24 hours, and I was like, I only have 100 views. I'm deleting this, right? Then I was like, no, I was like, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
100
You know,
views.
like I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm like, you know what? I'm like, what if I get punished for like deleting stuff all the time? And I think that is the case because someone told me, "Oh, do you know you get punished for like deleting and stuff? Like it's like a red flag for Instagram." So I was like, "Okay, I'm never deleting anything I put up. So be very thing about what you put up. Don't delete it." So a week later, that same remix went viral at 1.7 million views. Right now, it's at 5.5 million views. Right. So that's when we figured out the formula for remixes. And the great thing about remixes is that they get tagged in it as well. So you're not stealing anyone's content, you're literally sharing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you share stuff on Facebook, right? So the credit goes to them and it'll show like, hey, you remixed it with so and so's account
So
and
do
stuff
they
like
not,
that.
they don't get upset like if you like add your logo or something, right?
I mean, like, I don't add my logo because, like, literally when they're watching it, my face is right there. You know what I mean? And then there's a thing to follow me, right? So I don't do that because I'm like, okay, like, if someone did that to my video, would I be upset? I'm like, so if it'll upset me, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do it, right? So literally, like,
Right, because
your
that's what
face
I'm
again.
thinking. Because there's like luxury home tours, right,
Right,
with no people in it, and you can
right,
remix it and
right.
like your logo. That would be amazing, but I don't want to make anybody mad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll ask like people like if it looks like it's from like one of these like royalty free things, then I'll just make my own. You know what I mean? But then I'll use their trending audio though. You know what I mean? So like you know how we
Gotcha.
did like here. So see where it says use audio, you can use audio right here and upload your own content. So if I really like something, I'm just gonna go recreate it. You know what I mean? If I want to put my
Gotcha.
logo. So that's like my hack. If I really like something, I'm just gonna recreate it and I'll put my logo on there, no problem, because I did it. You know what I mean? And
Right.
again, go to ChatGPT and be like, make this sound like me. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to sound like another realtor. Like, wait, that doesn't sound like you. You know what I mean? Like, like for example, some people in the South say different words. You know what I mean? And then if you're like in Philadelphia, like you don't use those words up there. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
make it sure it sounds like you. And then again, it's sometimes a hit or miss. Even if you post it at the right time, sometimes it's a hit or miss. You know what I mean? But don't delete it. Just, Instagram will see that you're being consistent. You know what I mean? So what we do is we do remixes and then we put ours in there and then we'll put like a motivational like thing on there, so we mix it up. So like The remixes for us just gives us more visibility because we're like, yeah, I agree with this guy, what he's saying. Life goes on. You know what I mean? Do a joint account with your spouse, right? You know what I mean? And then we'll do like funny stuff as well, right? Like, make sure you like this was like a brand thing that I was like, make sure you have a good branding name, because this particular one, his first name, last name, and middle name was Abu, right? So it's Abu, Abu, Abu. So, I'm like, is that your brand? So, like just you put some humor into it if you don't want to create that humor, right? Find it in your niche. And posting consistently is key, right? And also, you need to have a call to action on your post, right? Follow me for more, right? Or DM this word to get my tips and tricks, kind of like these kind of things, right? So you just have to put all those things together. And I'm going to, again, share all that in the next few slides. So then, again, hashtag, and we talked about the SEO a little bit in the beginning. So you want to use about 5 to 10 niche specific hashtags in the comments. Keywords in your descriptions are key, right? House tour in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. House tour in San Francisco, California. Like when you put these particular keywords, people search for those words like what we did, right? Real estate tips, right? So if those keywords were in that description, it will pull that up for us, right? So remember, keywords are now a thing that they're pushing in your description. Posting frequently and best times according to your analytics on your dashboard, right? So we talked about a little bit about this in a few slides ago. Post it 3, 4 times a week according to your analytics. Post at least one carousel post, once a week. So if you don't have any listings, go in your MLS, see what listing has been sitting there for 30 days, right? 30 days right now is a long time, 60 days, 90 days, right? The more days, the more likely that agent will let you market that. You know what I mean? And the agent should be okay with you doing that because, like, look, I'm trying to get a buyer for you. Let's close this out. Like, I want to work with you. You're an awesome realtor. Let me try and see if I can find a buyer within my audience. You know what I mean? And people are like, go ahead. I have people telling me, can I share your stuff? Yes, go ahead. I don't even ask them to tag me. I was like, I don't care. I was like, you can tag
Right.
me. You don't need to tag me. I don't care because that's your brand. You know what I mean? I don't care. Bring me a buyer. That's all I care about. Post my stuff. I don't care. You know what I mean? Um, like it doesn't matter. Like just give me a buyer. Like let's go close this out together. It's very hard to find good agents, you know what I mean, that are on the same page. And that, the worst thing about an agent if they don't communicate with you. Oh my gosh. So if I have like my top 10 agents in my area and if I see they have listings, I'm like, listen, we'd close this deal together a year ago. I would love to find another buyer for you. I have a list of great realtors and I have a list of bad realtors that I won't work with. So, find those agents that you worked with in the past and see if they have a listing, go close more deals with them. Another thing you want to do is if you have the capacity, right? I mean, we're gonna get so busy. Post 5 to 10 stories per day. This could be just things throughout your day. You know what I mean? Like you go to a coffee shop, take a picture of that. You know what I mean? Um, what do you order when you go to a coffee shop in your stories, right? Make it engaging. Again, 5 to 10 is, the ideal, like you're gonna get so busy right now. I'm doing like one a day because I'm so busy right now. You know what I mean? But at least I'm posting something, right? Again, you don't have to do every single day, but just be consistent 3, 4 times a week. And then how to get seen more is by tagging and collaborating with people, right? So like and comment on, 50 plus niches related posts on a daily. So before you post, like before I post, I spend like 30 minutes and I'll go like, comment, on people I follow, right? Because that's going to get them more engagement and that's also going to get me more engagement as well. You want to engage with your followers and stuff like that. So right now, because I have over 90,000 followers, it's hard for me to do this at this point. But whoever comes on my feed that I'm following, I am engaging with. And then also whoever comments on mine, I engage with them as well. Not only my comments. So if someone, like if Wendy commented on my post, right, I will reply to her comment, but then I will also go into her Instagram and I will find her like latest video and I will comment on her video. I will like her video. I will like love bomb her account. You know what I mean? Like, don't do like 50 at one time and on her account. That's kind of crazy. Don't be like that. You know what I mean? Do the
Getting
latest
love
one.
bombs from Riz.
You know what I mean? Oh yeah, bomb is not a good word for me, right? Because I'm wearing this. That's not good. But anyways, we like to have fun, right? We're not, have fun in real estate.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know if it works in Instagram, but I know in Facebook, if you like, comment, and then send them a DM, like you're in their news feed for 30 days. Is that the same for Instagram?
I mean, it depends on like if they're following you, you're following them. Because if
Oh,
you DM
gotcha.
someone and
Hmm.
you're not like they're not following you, it'll go to their other like
Hmm.
inbox. You know what I mean? Like I've had that. I was like, let me check my other inbox. I had like thousands of messages on there. It was crazy. You know what I mean? So I do
Hmm.
try to like check my other messages as well because you just don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know like what
Right.
what it is. So, yeah, like all the platforms are different. You know, YouTube used to have where people could direct message you back in the day when they first came out. They don't have
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, they took that out a long, long, long
I've
time ago.
never seen that.
Yeah, they took that out a long, long time ago. Like just so like you guys know about my background, like I was invited to Facebook beta, because on MySpace I had over 8,000 followers
You're
or
so
fans.
old.
It was fans. It was called fans on MySpace. I don't know if any of you guys were in that era of MySpace, but I was invited to Facebook to use their beta, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is great." And then YouTube, I was there like Google came out what 1998, right? So I was a teenager back then. Some of you might have, some of you are older than us or younger than us. I don't know if you remember that time, or you're like, oh, I've always had this. I'm a pro, with all this tech. But anyway, it's really important to do that, and I always tell people ahead of time, hey. I'm making this video. I'm going to collaborate with you. Make sure you approve it because you can't just invite anyone to collaborate and it'll show up on their feed. So you want to make sure that you give people a heads up. And then when I post it up, I'll say, hey, it's up. Make sure you review it. And if you like it, accept my collaboration, please. You know, so that's another way. And then we were talking about the stories, right? The stories build trust as well. And this story is mainly like behind the scenes, right? So if you don't want to post like your personal life on your main, like post and stuff, you could do that as behind the scenes, right? People will, people like to see who you are, like what you're going through or like, how do you balance that work life balance? So you can do that as well. You can use polls, you can use like like the radar, like, do you like this 0% or do you like this 100%? You could ask
What
questions.
is burger me?
I don't know. It's this new AI stuff, and it's not just burger me. It's like so many different things. It's like you like if you go into your
I gotta look.
stories, like there's so many different things. I have not checked it out. I was surprised. I was gonna like put the other one, but I was like burger me sounds funny. So let's see. Maybe it makes a burger review. I don't know. If you guys figure that out, let me know. Tag Wendy and I on Instagram. Let's see the burger
Right?
review.
I'm gonna look.
You know what I mean? So have fun with it. Like test these out. Like just test all this out. These are the four main things that I use. I use Link as well, but I haven't really been using Link as much because again, I want people to stay on the platform. If I were to link it, if I it would be like, hey, look at my latest home tour, right? And then I'll link the exact IG post, so they can just go right in there. But you can also share that as a story too from your post as well. So there's like a lot of like little things that you can do. And again, it's just playing around with the app, right? And again, so many options for your stories for engagements over here, right? And there's like a countdown too, as well. Hey, my listing's gonna be live in 7 days, right? Or whatever the case. There's so many things. If you're passionate about a nonprofit, if they sign up for the nonprofit, they'll get verified, and then you can, raise funds for, a local organization that you're passionate about, a 501(c)(3). So there's so many things you can do. So now we're going to talk about converting followers to clients, right? So you want to use, call to action. You want to do stuff like DM me the word home to get started. You can offer a freebie like market report, a home buyer checklist. You can run Instagram lives and, you could do Q&A sessions. When you do your lives, don't get on there and be like, okay, let's wait for like a few more people to show up and then we'll get started. Don't do it. Just get right into it. People will come. You know, it's like the 2 second hook. Like if there's dead space in your life, people are not going to join. Just go with it. Even if one or two people show up or whatever, it doesn't matter because you can also use that and chop it up and post it up as well. You know what I mean? So, again, people don't have attention span. So just, again, try different things, see what works for you. You can also set up an automated message response, DMs, using a platform like ManyChat. So this is just like a screenshot of what you could do. So if you put like keywords in ManyChat, it's like a bot, right? So it'll go back and forth, and you can actually take over the conversation if it goes to the point of like, you getting there. This is good for like, big following accounts because again, we can't message everyone or get all their stuff. So if people message you home and that's one of your keywords in ManyChat, it'll kind of do a conversation and kind of like what you trained it to say. You know what I mean? And then there's a point where you can take over, right? And stuff like that. And sometimes if it doesn't match, it doesn't really go through the conversation. So ManyChat, there's a free version, of course, and there's a paid version. So try the free version, just test it out, see how you like it. And then there's also affiliate and brand deals. You can partner up with real estate related brands. You can promote home staging companies, moving companies, or mortgage brokers. You can offer shout outs and sponsored posts. I've had brands reach out to me and say, hey, we want to pay you if you post on your account. And I'm like, well, what are we trying to post? You know what I mean? Because it has to be kind of related to what I'm doing. I'm not going to be like, okay, and now I'm gonna show you a beauty product, right? Like that doesn't match my niche. Like that's not what's gonna match for my niche. So it has to be related, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So there's other ways that you can get paid for posting, right? People will recognize that because people want to push their brands out through you. Okay, now let's talk about tools to make content creation easier, right? So let's talk about this real quick. So video editing creation, I know Wendy talked about this yesterday. CapCut, she also used InShot. I use both of these depending. CapCut I like because there's so much more options to edit on the go even. And they offer like a lot of things. There's, auto captions, which InShot has. They have trending effects, they have smooth transitions, and of course, there's a free version and a paid version, right? And you can create a lot of good stuff. And the thing I like about CapCut is they kind of have like trending things that you can use already. And then you kind of just add your videos to it. So again, you have to really play around with CapCut on this. I could probably teach a CapCut course and be on here for 4 hours teaching you the ins and outs of CapCut, and we're just getting started. So CapCut is a little bit more. InShot is a little bit better if you're starting out. It's super friendly to use. It's really, really quick for edits. You can trim, you could do text overlays, you could add audio. Again, both are great. I actually prefer CapCut. But there's some instances where I'll do InShot where I have to just like post right now. It's easy, done and done. So again, play around with it, see what you like, let us know what you like. And if anyone is using CapCut or InShot, put it in the comments what you like better and why you like it. Again, videos are really, really, really important because, right now, like Wendy said yesterday, when she was looking at the luxury listings, that uh, were expired. More than I think 50% did not do any videos on a $10 million house. That's crazy, right? So this is your opportunity to like be different. You know what I mean? Go make your videos. Don't care what you look like. They don't care. Are you bringing value to their life? Are you showing them what they can get as a house? Can you help the seller sell their house? You know what I mean? Don't worry about looks. Who cares? You know what I mean? The right people will find you anyway, right? So videos are, super important because they will definitely grab attention versus just a picture. Pictures they'll see for like a second, but if your video is good and your 2 second is good, they'll stay for the whole video if everything checks the boxes of engagement, right? So again, video is important. Um, so, why every video counts, why every view counts on Instagram. Many people think hundreds of views is a low number, but let's put that in perspective, okay? So if they say I only got 500 views, this is a picture of 500 people in a room. That's a full house. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And those 500 people can share your content. They can save your content, which will push it even more. So that 500, remember what I told you about my post, the viral post I was going to delete that only got 100 views in 24 hours? And then literally a week later, it got to 1.7 million, I think it was. And then now it's sitting at 5.5 million. Can you imagine a room with 5.5 million people? So if you get 100 views, that's 100 people that saw your stuff. That's 100 real people. You know what I mean? So, make sure you take care of those people. You know what I mean? The people who comment and all that other good stuff, you know? And then even the people who like your stuff, see who like your stuff, go onto their profile and like their latest things, right? And stuff like that, right? You have to build these relationships. You have to build them, Again, can't post and ghost. Can't do that.
Po-
Um,
Post and ghost.
yeah, don't post and ghost. You have to engage. You have to engage. So again, and just keep showing up. The more you post, the more you will build that trust and that visibility. You know what I mean? Like for me, I told Wendy this. I was like, I took 18 months off, right? I had my 90,000 followers. I took 18 months off because I was taking care of my grandma who had dementia, and we were like, she's not going to make it this year. And she passed last year. And then in the midst of that, I had a baby, my fourth baby, so I didn't do anything for 18 months. So my algorithm was terrible. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this back up. I was like, I know how to do this. I'm gonna get this back up again. It's all good. Because if you know how to work with the algorithm, you can always come back. You know what I mean? So, don't make social media like, your number one priority. Take care of your family, right? Like put them first. All this will come. You know what I mean? And have that work-life balance, of course. So again, when you see just a few hundred views, remember those are real people paying attention. You never know. It might happen what happened with me. 100 to 1.7 to 5.5 million. I don't even know what it is right now. I haven't checked, you know? But last I checked, it was 5.5. Um, Canva is another great app that you can use. There's so many like posts that you can use on there. There's so many templates. They have videos. They have AI in there right now, and it's super easy. You just drag and drop into the design, right? So if you have a new listing, you could search for real estate carousel post, and it literally will give you one. It might give you thousands of them. And it's nice because it looks very professional, right? Like if I was still in graphic design, I would have lost my job a long time ago. I'm just saying, right? Because people are now using Canva. You can even make a logo in Canva, which is crazy, right? There's so many things that you can do. And then you can even add your brand colors to the swatch as well. And that way your colors are always there. There's graphics, there's animations on there. You can also resize. Now, resizing, you have to pay the pro version for resizing it to whatever size you want it to be. I think yesterday someone was talking about thumbnails in the chat. You can search for YouTube thumbnails, or you could search for your reel. You can also put like a thumbnail for that too. So you can search for IG thumbnail. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that you can search on there. In the chat, put if you're using Canva. We want to know how many of you are using Canva, and what was the best benefit for you. Um, Again, there's so many different things to Canva. There's Magic Media, Magic Animate, Magic Grab. I love this one because I see this on Facebook all the time. They're like, "Can you remove the person in the background for me?" And then you see all these funny posts in the comments. Well, you can post that picture in Canva, and then you can do Magic Grab. It'll kind of highlight all of the items it sees, and you can click and delete. Super easy. Great. And then there's so many other things as well. There's also a magic eraser. You can erase things as well. So many things that you can do, right? You could do like prompts. You could do writing descriptions or whatever. ChatGPT has this too, but now Canva is getting into the AI game, and they've been in the AI game for a while actually. And then, if you just search for, again, just regular things like real estate, again, you get thousands of templates and posts and things of that nature. And then look at that, 27,000 templates. That's crazy, right? So if you want to be particular, you could do listing, real estate, whatever, right? Play around with this. Again, I think all these apps we could probably teach you for hours on end, right, Wendy?
Yeah.
Hours on
Oh
end.
my God. So
Here's some
much.
of here's some of the AI stuff that you can use. Again, just go to canva.com/AI, play around with it. You know what I mean? and see what you like, what you don't like. Here's again just listed. You just click on it, you just reword whatever you want to reword. You can click on this image and replace that image. Super easy to do. Again, you don't need to be a graphic designer to create beautiful graphics and videos. You want your content and feed to have an eye appeal. You know what I mean? So if someone like looks at your post, it's the first time they're looking at your reel or photo or whatever, they're gonna click on your account. And if your account looks nice, they might go through all of this. You know what I mean? Again, you're keeping them on the app. Instagram will love you for that. All right, so ChatGPT, we talked about that a little bit in the beginning, right? You can script things, captions that convert. You can generate, like, here's some prompts: generate catchy, engaging, and on-brand captions for any post. Hashtag, you can ask it, give me viral hashtags for this video I'm making. This is the video that I'm making, right? And it saves you so much time because in the beginning, when I was searching hashtags, I would type whatever hashtag I thought would be good. You know what I mean? Now I'll just ask ChatGPT and then I'll see what kind of, like how many hashtags has this been used? You know what I mean? On the platform. Whether you need fun, professional, like whatever you need, it will be your brand. It's going to get to know you. So it's going to act like you or how you would sound. You can ask it for, again, ideas for reels, carousel, post topics to stay ahead. And again, consistency makes everything easy. So you can ask it, listen, I need 90 days worth of content for this niche. I'm a real estate agent in blah, blah, blah city. And I need a mix of market reports. I need this, home tours, whatever, blah, blah, right? Remember the ideas I gave you guys in the beginning? Just write all that out. It will literally give you 90 days of content. And then you can tell it, okay, now give me a script for each day for that content. And it will write you a script for each day, right? And then literally you have a bill like a blueprint for you done. It's done and done. Now all you have to do is just record it, right? Um, so again, here are some prompts. Give me a marketing plan for XYZ home, create a presentation for sellers, make market trends for newsletters in whatever city, seller objection. You know how sometimes you're like, okay, I need to role play with someone. And what if you don't find someone to role play? Well, ChatGPT can be your role play. You know what I mean? And do seller
So funny.
objections with it. Really? You know what I
Yep,
mean?
I know. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Like, what if the seller says, this guy's gonna do it for this much? Now, what do I say? Right? Like, so it's
Yeah, or if
awesome.
someone texts you, you could just put in there like a seller just texted me this. What should I say?
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
I do
it's
that all the time. And I'm like, my client is saying this. Can you explain this if they were a fifth grader? You know what I mean? Because sometimes you're like, like sometimes, especially with me, I have clients where English is not their first language. It could be their third or fourth, right? And so I'm like, not to insult their intelligence, but I'm like, I need to explain it to them so they get it because I might not speak that language. You know what I mean? So there might be a kind of a language barrier sometimes. So that's why you're like, okay, explain it to me like this. Or even for myself, like, listen, like upload a contract. Am I missing something here? What are the important things of this contract? Of course, read that whole entire contract. Don't just let ChatGPT do it for you. But like, give me the important points so I can discuss this with my seller, right? So it's not just putting a prompt. You can upload docs in there. If you have the free version, I think you could do up to 3 a day. If you have the $20 one, then you can, upload many more than that. And there is a limit on that too, but I don't think you're gonna go past that limit. I've never gone past that limit on the paid one. How to use technology to sell more homes, right? A guide for first-time home buyers. The guide thing is great, because you can literally make a PDF out of this, right? Put this in Canva and export it as a PDF or even a presentation and be like, hey, I have a guide for you since you're a first-time home buyer, which explains the process. You know what I mean? So read that in your time if you can't sleep, right? Be like that. How to stay ahead of the competition and differentiate yourself as a top agent. How do you build social media presence? And so on and so forth, right? So just giving you guys some ideas. You guys might have better prompts than what I have here. So other alternatives to ChatGPT, there are so many. Oh my gosh, so many. The top ones that I've
I
seen
didn't
people
even
use.
know they had that many more.
Oh my gosh, so much more. Perplexity is one that's used a lot. DeepSeek is actually coming up. I've been seeing a lot of people use DeepSeek. Um,
Gemini is, I hear a lot
Gemini
of
is, yep,
Gemini.
Gemini is definitely there. You know what I mean? There's Notion. We do use Notion on a lot of things. There's another one also called Note GPT, which is amazing. So definitely check that one out. I've never heard of Hugging Chat, which is interesting. Again, like I'm not really sure. Is this my emotional GPT? I don't know. But there's so many things. So play around if you have some time and let us know what you find, right? All
I'm
right. So
definitely downloading the hugging chat.
I know, I just want to play around with it.
I just need
Um,
a hug.
I know, right? And then Midjourney is another thing. You can literally put in prompts to create videos, to create images. I think someone mentioned that that you could use Midjourney to do thumbnails. You could use Canva to do thumbnails as well. You know what I mean? So definitely check that out. This is nice because if you wanted to like create like engaging like B-roll videos too, like say you're talking and you're like, I can't find the video to match what I'm talking about, you can create a prompt and it'll, make it for you. So, a lot of stuff in here. Midjourney is a little bit of more complicated one. It'll take a little bit of time for you to learn it. So don't obsess over this so much, unless like you want to go learn it. There's a lot of tutorials on Midjourney. Before, Midjourney was only through Discord, and I believe now they have their website, so you could do it over there as well. So check Midjourney out as well. Now, if you don't have time to create content, but you're like, but I'm the brand of my business. So I need to use me. Well, there is Hey Jen. Okay. I have a YouTube video which is literally saying which is the real me. So looking at these three, can you tell just looking at the picture which one is the real me? There's a video on this, by the way. Put in the comments which one do you think is the real me? One, two, or three? I'm just curious, and I'll let you know if you're right or wrong. And I can't see the chat right now because my presentation is up. But this literally cloned me. It's my voice. It's me. It's like it's crazy that it's how accurate this is. It's insane. Like it's like blew my
You
mind.
might have to play that. You
Yeah.
might have to
Well, I'll
find
I'll
a video
play it
and
like
play it.
after and then
Yeah.
because this is just an image. Because what I find with Zoom is when I play videos, it's just like super slow. You know what I mean? It lags. So I will play it for
Oh,
you guys.
gotcha.
Yeah, I'll play it for you guys. But just looking at the image, just based off the image, let me know if you think
So we
I'm one,
can
two, or
tell
three.
based on the image. You're saying we should be able to tell.
I don't know. Can you? I mean, for me, I wouldn't be able to tell. I don't know. And that's me. I'm like, which one is my AI clone again? Since I did this last year.
Oh, we have a couple guesses.
We have a couple guys. Okay, I'll look at the comments when I unshare this because we're almost done. Um, Pexels and Unsplash are free stock images. So like if you don't have, those high end things, you can use Pixels and Unsplash. And through this presentation, I used stock from Pixels and Unsplash to put it here, right? In this presentation. So if you get the replay, you can look at the images and they're pretty good. They're completely free, no need to worry about licensing fees or copyright issues. They're high quality, high resolutions from talented photographers. They're like doing it so you can like follow them. You know what I mean? And give them a shout out. There's a variety of content on there. There's also a video on Pexels and Unsplash as well. There's videos as well. So you can use it as a B-roll, as a filler if you needed to. Perfect for Instagram, for catching visuals, posts, stories, and reels without hiring a photographer. No, we 100% recommend hire that photographer for your listings. You know what I mean? You can't really unsplash and pixels that. You know what I mean? Like use a really good photographer that does good videos and drone for that. And it's easy to download. There's no, how some places they're like, you can use my stock image, but you need to give me credit. So you don't have to do that. Not yet anyway. I mean, they haven't asked, but things change. So again, whether you need backdrops, lifestyle shots, real estate images, whatever you need, these are your two websites that you can use. And of course, with all of this, follow the guidelines with your state, your broker, right? And if you're a realtor, there's resources as well. I know so many associations are teaching social media and AI. So see what classes they have to offer. You pay for your association if you're a realtor, and go make use of that. And hopefully if you use any of these tools, tag Wendy and I in your posts. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. We'd love to see what you're creating, and make sure you follow us as well. And again, make sure you're in compliance with your brokerage and your real estate rules and regulations for marketing, right? Your brand is your identity. You don't want to mess that up, right? So just like I said, just follow the guidelines. Have fun, but do the right things. You know what I mean? And again,
Do the
thank you.
right things.
Do
That's
the
it.
right things.
That's
Do the right
Riz's
things.
tips for the day. Do the right thing.
Do the right things. And again, thank you for everyone who showed up today. Again, follow Wendy and myself. Joanna, if you could put Wendy's social media in the chat, that'd be great. And then just comment on like one of our posts and say, "Hey, I attended your class." Then we'll try and follow you back. We'll definitely follow you back. I follow people who like comment on my stuff. I'm like, "Your word is I follow you back." Not that I'm all that, but people like a follow. So, we would appreciate that. And that is the end of my presentation. Hopefully, you guys
Yeah,
got a lot of nuggets. I know it was a lot. So,
that was beautiful. Joanne, do you need
so
help getting that? Because I can do that right now.
No, I got it.
You got it? Okay. Okay, so
Q&As.
that was amazing. That was amazing. I'm sure there's questions,
I know
so
that was a lot. That was a lot.
hold on, there you go. Okay, so as far as profiles go, these are what I wrote down. Like profiles is huge. So like when someone is looking at your profile, they need to know what you do and where you do it,
Yep.
right? So I look all the time at realtor stuff and like I'm like, well, I think she's a realtor. Oh,
Right.
I really don't know what area she's in. It doesn't even say what area she's in, And so I gotta scroll to try to figure out like what they do. So you don't want a home buyer or a home seller to not know what you do. So you need to say it loud and proud and don't be a secret agent. So,
Yes, don't be a secret agent. We're not in the CIA or
yeah,
FBI. We're not
right.
that kind of agent.
Right. So, as far as rewarding us for watching the whole video, like when people watch the whole video, they reward us for that. Um, I feel like that's why the 7-second videos do so good, right? Because how
Yeah,
hard is it to watch a total of 7 seconds? If you're got a 3-minute video on there, that's
right.
probably when people are not gonna watch the whole thing unless you're super freaking interesting, right?
Yeah,
So,
right,
so yeah, 7-second videos matter.
right,
So don't feel like they have to be super long. You literally, ooh, kitchen, oh, words on screen, trending sound, let's go.
right.
You know,
Exactly.
so yeah, don't overthink that you need like a whole freaking thing to
Yeah,
amazing because
yeah,
the 7-second reels are working really good.
right.
Uh, and then I think you said it, but reels, um, you get non-followers and followers from reels,
Yep,
and stories are retargeting the people already following you. Is
correct.
that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So,
Okay.
and then, yeah, so stories, and then you can also, in your stories, there is like options as well. And you can like click a particular like circle, like who you want to see that. You know what I mean? So if you're like posting your family or kids or, whatever, like personal life, and you don't want like all your followers to see, you can actually like make a list and put people on that list to see. I think I did whoever I could on that list because again, I don't really share my kids and stuff like that. And if I do, it's
Mhm.
like the back of their heads. Um, because there's some crazy stuff with AI that they're doing with kids right now, which is crazy. So, I didn't post my kids in the beginning anyway, but I'm like with all this stuff, like I don't want them to make an AI of my kid and do weird stuff. It's like so many stories of that. But that's just me. But again, you can select the audience
Can't
that you want to
trust
see.
anybody anymore.
Can't
Like,
trust anyone anymore. Even my husband's like, I don't think you should make videos anymore because what if they clone you and you say like weird things? And I'm like, I don't know. We have to get some kind of regulation here. I don't know. You know what I mean? I was like, if it's not coming
my
from me, if it's not coming from my account, it's not me
one of
unless it's
my
a collaboration.
one of my friends took a picture. from my post of my real estate sign, and my picture was on the sign, and he had me singing a song, and you saw
Right.
my lips moving on the sign.
Right.
I was like, okay, thank you.
Right.
Super freaking creepy. All right, everybody, if you could get your cameras turned on, I just wanted to do a little quick video, but like literally everybody's is like black.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know they're like, we're checking out, we're eating lunch. Okay, so what was the other thing I had a question on? I think that was it. Okay, how about you guys? Did you guys have any questions?
So there's a couple of questions actually. So the John said, "What did you mean by it has to be searchable?" You're talking about the keywords. Are we talking about keywords in the description? John, if you want to
I
unmute.
was talking about when you were talking about the profile, like your initial name has to be searchable. You don't want to use your name. You do want to use your name. What do you
You do
mean by
want
it
to
has to
you
be
do want to
searchable?
use your name. And then like make sure you have like real estate somewhere in there. You know what I mean? Because what Wendy said, like
Right,
when she goes on particular profiles, she's like, I think that's a realtor. I don't know if that's a realtor. So be very
right,
clear in who you are and who you help, right? Like, okay, this is who I am and this is who I help. And this is my achievement and here's my link to get connected to me. So
right.
that's what I mean by searchability. Um, you
So even though
definitely
your um, Instagram ID is at um, local door
expand
steps,
levels.
right?
Yeah. But if
But
you go into my
but
Instagram
you
profile, if you go in
right,
there, you'll see expand levels, but then you'll see Rizwan Afzali, real estate, and then I think I put something else on there. So there's a particular category where you can put that there. You know what I
okay,
mean? So my name is there. Just expand levels is my brand for that particular
right,
account, you know? So when I say make it searchable, like just make sure that people know who you are and they get like it's not a guessing game. You know what I mean?
right,
Like if
right,
I go to someone's profile, like I don't know what you do.
right.
So that's what I mean by searchable. Make it searchable.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Yeah. And like when I go to look for a realtor in a certain area, I'm typing in realtor in Denver, Colorado. So you want your stuff to show up there too. You
Right.
know, because maybe someone's searching for a really good realtor in Denver, Colorado, and then they're gonna click on you and check you out
Right.
and see all your stuff. So,
Right.
okay, what else you got? Searchable. Metrical. Do you use Metrical or comparable app to distribute videos on other platforms? I right now use Repurpose IO. Um, I
Mm,
used to use Metrical, which was cool. But I switched because I like the Repurpose IO better.
yeah. And I mean, there's like so many apps, to schedule things out. You know what I mean? And there's so many apps out there.
Wait,
I think in the beginning I used Buffer was one. But now Instagram has it in there anyway, so I'll just schedule it through there because I'm like thinking the more I use their stuff, maybe that might help me. Not that it's a fact, but I just use their scheduling too for Instagram. You know what I mean?
so on
Um,
their scheduling, do they have like analytics to say when a good time is to post?
Not on the scheduling, but you have to go to
Oh,
your dashboard and look at that. You know what I mean? And it might change for you. And then, like in the particular platforms, like it'll tell you like Tuesdays, like when your audience is there, and Thursday. So that's why you don't have to post every day. Post on the like, Tuesday, Thursdays, if that's what works for you, if that's when your audience is on. You know what I mean?
right.
I was just testing it out to be honest when I got to 300 followers on this particular account. I was like, I'm going to post 3 to 4 times a day. I'm going to engage with people and I'm going to comment on people. I'm going to follow influencers that, are kind of in my niche and blah, blah. Like for me and Wendy's the same way. Like we clap for other people. So we'll follow whoever, like whether they're in our brokerage or not, like we clap for people. You know what I mean? We follow people, you know what I mean? Because we're like, okay, this is a community. Like that's what you have to remember is you're building a community. So, why wouldn't you follow each other? Is my question. So,
Right.
like I see some people, like especially like really big influencers, they have like they're following one person. I'm like, okay, you know, but then they have like millions of followers anyway. So I'm just like, But I don't know. I feel like Wendy and I were not that type of people. We're not like, I'm gonna follow one person.
Jen
You know?
said you mentioned getting rid of people that weren't helping.
Yeah.
Can you
So
explain that?
yeah, so when I went into my followers, it'll say something like the least people that I interact with, right? And so when I like some of those profiles, they haven't posted anything at all. You know what I mean? So I'll just get rid of them because sometimes with hashtags, unfortunately, I don't know if it's still a thing now, if Instagram took care of it or not. But they'll be bots. There's bot accounts that follow you automatically, you know? So before in Instagram, when you posted something, it'll go to your followers first, and then it'll see how they do. If they like it, it goes to like the next phase. It'll, put it out there to other people. You know what I mean? So then I just
Mhm.
started deleting people. Believe it or not, I went from 107,000 to 91,000 right now. You know what I mean? Because I deleted so many dead accounts, because that was like crazy. Like, because I was looking in there and I just went with like the least interacted with, right? Because then they're not interacting with me either. So I just went to the least interacted and then I just kind of looked at the profile. If you don't have a profile picture and you don't have posts, like I'm gonna delete you as a follower, I don't know if things have changed, right? But I don't want those people because I think it's a bot. So I mean you can keep them if you want to, just to show your
I need
following,
bot
but
cheerleaders.
you
I'll
know what I
take.
mean? You can keep them for like, oh, I have this many followers, but I was like,
I'm just
my
kidding.
feed also, I'm like, I want to see good feed. You know what I mean? So sometimes the
Right.
people who follow me, I see their stuff. So
I
yeah,
know. I did learn also, when you're posting a video, or picture or something and you have words on screen, to lower the exposure just a little bit to make it a little darker so that your
yeah,
white text shows up good.
yeah, right.
So that is something I just recently learned. I can't figure out how to do it on Instagram, but you could do it on your camera, your camera roll,
Yeah,
lower the exposure and then upload your video. That way your white words show up really good on there. You'll see a lot of people's dashboard and you'll see that they do that. And I was
yeah,
like, how do they
yeah.
do that? But yeah, it's lowering the exposure. So
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes depending on the caption you pick, like if it's like white text, I'll try to put like a black border on it. There's options in CapCut to do that.
right.
You know what I mean? It really depends. And then sometimes some of these captions have a background in it. And then you can also do the contrast, Wendy, on the CapCut too. Like you can lower it and stuff. And
Right.
everything like that. And
I
then
was
there's filters, of
told,
course, on these video apps too. There's filters on there too. Don't go crazy with the filters. But we want to make sure that we meet you in real life and you look the same. Well, somewhat the same, right? And then there's another
Skinny.
yeah, there's
Like my
another
cartoon. I was like, I told the lady, I was like, I want big boobs and I want a skinny waist.
right.
So,
But I mean, like we know that's obviously not you. You know what I mean? We know it's obviously not you. But here's another question. It says, how do you decide which videos to delete and what to keep? So I'm very intentional when I post. Like when I post, I'm not gonna delete. You know what I mean? So be really intentional, like on what you're posting because you don't want it to be like a red flag. Because this was something that someone told me the other day. They were like, if you delete videos and or like you repurpose your videos, and it's the same exact thing, it becomes like a red flag for Instagram. So I don't delete videos. You know what I mean?
can
So
you just like remove from
you
profile
can
grid
you can
without
archive
being
you can archive them, and then it won't show up on your thing, but don't delete it, just archive it, and it won't show up on your profile. I do that. I archive some stuff, you know what I mean?
right?
Especially if you move brokerages, right? Like put all this video up with your new brokerage and then go archive the other stuff. You know what I mean? I did that. I archived old stuff, or something that I'm like, okay, I don't agree with this anymore. Or, like what if the facts are old? What if real estate doesn't work like that anymore? So, just go through your content. You know what I mean? Here and there.
So if it
And
doesn't do well, you don't suggest deleting it.
I don't suggest deleting it because you know why? I
I know
suggest that
that's
you
like a lot of
archive it.
us. They're like, oh my God, only 5 people like this.
You know,
Put it away.
so if you think it was like an amazing video and you only got like 5 views, what you're gonna do is you're gonna archive that and you're gonna repost it. You know, archive it. Don't delete it. Archive it, but don't keep
Okay.
on doing that. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
like if I would have taken that video that had 100 views and I'm like, I'm going to archive this and I'm going to go repost it again, then you never know. You never know like what will happen. You know what I mean? But then if your videos are getting like 5 views, 10 views, then you're something's going on. You're going against the algorithm. You know what I mean? You have to work with algorithm. You know what I mean? Like engage, build relationships, comment, like, all of that stuff. You have to do all that stuff. And it's work. It's definitely work. I had somebody who was like, you have to do my social media. I was like, I don't have to do anything. I was like, I can't even do mine right now. That's why I do like 2 or 3 times a week on my posts. I was like, I can't even keep up with that. I was like, I have so many ideas. I was like, I gotta go record. I was like, I can't do anybody's. I'm not managing social media for anyone right now. But you guys can do this. This is why we're teaching you. You can do it. You literally can do this. I promise
As,
you can.
as far as mixing content, with like selling homes and agent attracting, like
Mhm.
mix away because number one, like realtors are gonna look at your stuff anyway. And
Yeah.
if you do a really good job, like marketing your properties, they're gonna be attracted to you,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep.
then you talk to them in the same, breath on Instagram, about,
Absolutely.
what we're doing over here. So I mix everything and then I throw
Yeah.
some Jeeps and semi trucks and freaking Harleys in it too. So
Right.
I
Because that's your
mean,
personal life, like you're
yeah,
showing
we're
your
just
lifestyle, like what real
attracting,
estate has done for you, right?
right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's all related. And that's why I say don't just do home tours. Don't just do home tours. You know what I mean? There are accounts that just do home tours and that's fine, but like mix it up because people want to get to know you. You know what I mean? Like, the house tours are great. Don't get me wrong, but mix it up. Like, let people get to know new and share your expertise. You know what I mean? You guys have so much knowledge. You got to share your knowledge out there. You know what I mean? In an engaging way. Don't be boring, right? Like, be engaging, right? 2 seconds. We have 2 seconds memory. Okay, and then there's another question. Hold on. Okay, so Patty mentioned that so many agents don't include their phone numbers. Clients are not going to hunt for you. I agree. So sometimes people put their information in the description, like contact me, and they'll say my contact information is in the description, or in my bio. You know what I mean? So that's the call to action that we're talking about, right? It's there, right? So call to action is that. If you don't like, if you are like me and you go to like 90,000 followers or 10,000 followers or whatever, you might not want to put your number everywhere. You can get a Google Voice number if you want. You know what I mean? Or a secondary, like if you're making bank, right, with your monetization on these platforms, then maybe you might want to get a second line. It really depends, just for that, because you're going to get so many calls. It's going to be crazy. Hopefully you don't get stalkers, but just put that out there. But if your number is your business number anyway, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You pick up whatever call. So totally agree with you, Patty. You gotta have a way for them to contact you. So 100% agree with you on there.
Are all the posts on personal accounts and ads only for business?
Hold on.
I don't know
Sorry,
what that
someone's
means.
calling me. Who's calling me?
Gina.
Sorry, my
Gina, can you
5-year-old is
unmute?
calling me. She knows how to use tech. Um,
Can
but
you unmute
okay,
and explain?
okay. What was the question? I'm sorry.
It's Gina,
Okay, Gina,
and
hang
I
on.
can't hear you,
You
Gina.
can't hear me anymore.
No,
Okay.
I can hear you, Riz. I can't
Hi
hear
there,
Gina.
can you hear me
Gina's
now?
trying- Yes.
Good. Okay, so my question is, I have heard several people talk about what they post on their personal accounts versus what they post on their business accounts. And then I've had a couple of people say I use both. And
Mhm.
then I just post both. I mean, I post whatever I put on business, I put on personal, and vice versa. And I just want a little bit of clarity from you guys that use this all the time as to a little bit of guidance from the get-go, basically.
Yeah,
The
I think
recommendation.
I think managing 2 accounts is a lot. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? In my opinion,
Okay.
it's a lot. If I'm gonna post personal stuff, I'll post it to my stories. You know what I mean? And it's the people who follow me anyway. Um, like I have 2 accounts because I have 2 different brands, and they're both creator or business accounts. You know what I mean? I tell people this all the time. If I was not in real estate, I would not be on social media. I wouldn't. Like I wouldn't. You know what I mean? And then unless I'm like a influencer who's making money on there, and that's a different story. But if I didn't have any kind of business or anything, I wouldn't be on social media. So I
Okay.
like, for me, I wouldn't do both, you know, because there's a lot of people also who have personal accounts and it's private. You know what I mean? So there
Mhm.
might be a lot of good content on your personal that you can sort of mix into your business account, right?
Okay.
But in my opinion, like, you're gonna get so busy if you do social media correctly, you're not gonna have time to do that. Like for that kind of thing, Gina, I have WhatsApp, right? Because I have family from, you know, different countries, and I'll share videos and pictures and everything there, and they know 100% not to share it outside of that group. You know what I mean? So like my circle for personal is small when I share like that kind of content. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, here you go, grandparents, right?
But yeah, I mean, like walking, going to dog parks and stuff like that, with your dogs, like you're gonna attract dog people that like
Exactly.
want to buy and sell houses. You know what I mean? Like if
Right.
you're ride Harleys, guess what? Maybe other Harley riders are gonna start following you and then they need to buy and sell. Like I just feel like everything that you post out there into the world is just attracting
Right.
people that you want to work with.
Right.
Okay.
Because like, you know,
Thank you.
like for example, like Jeep folks, right? Like they
Yep.
have their own community, right? They do the rubber duckies, right? Like I didn't even know that. I just like I found that out a few years ago. I was like,
Like a
I didn't
Jeep
know you guys
family.
did this rubber ducky thing. It's kind of cool, right? There's like a whole community. So, you know, why would you separate that, you know? And then it
Yeah.
gets like confusing and stuff. I would just keep it in one
And I don't have a business account, I have a creator
creator
account.
account. Yeah.
The business account like restricts you from having like more sounds, like more trending music and stuff like that, I think, is what I was told. Creator is better. So just make sure that, it's
Yeah.
creator and not business.
Yeah.
You'll
Right.
have more tools.
Yeah. And I
Uh,
mean, and it's great because the more you do, you're gonna get monetized on here, on Instagram and Facebook or whatever. You know, like my one video, like years and years ago, went viral, and it was like a simple video. Literally, it's a home inspection, and there's tri shades, and these tri shades are like blackout, it's sheer, right, and then it's like open, right? They were called tri shades at the time. And that video went to like I think 2.1 million or something like that. I think it's at 2.1 million right now. But that's what got me so many followers. It's like, where can I get it? Where can I get it? Where can I get it? And if you have an affiliate link with the company, you're like, here, it's in my bio, right? You make a little bit of commission off of that. So there's like so many different ways to utilize social media and leverage it. You know what I mean? And for that video, when it hit, I think 1.5 million, in the beginning when Facebook first rolled out monetization, I got paid $500 direct deposit. You know what I mean? I was like, that's crazy, you know? And that was like pandemic time, beginning of pandemic. So that was insane to me. I was like, that's great because I knew you got paid on YouTube and stuff, but I just was like, now Facebook is getting into it, and Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp or whatever. So everyone's like trying to pay you as a creator to keep people on their platform so they can pay you, you know, when you get to a certain level. So there's a whole nother class too. So, but your whole point is like, don't chase after the social media money, right? Like you got to go after the correct audience who you're going to help buy a house. You're going to help them buy a house, sell their home. You know, maybe you might help some investors. You know, I had a video on TikTok and I got an investor. He's like, I have $300,000 cash. This is like years ago. I have $300,000 cash. What can I buy? And I'm like, you can buy a lot over here. What are you looking for? So you never know who's looking at your stuff. And you know how I got him? I got him because I showed an investment property. I said, okay, this is a different kind of a tour. This house needs a lot of work. I'm going to show you the inside of it, and you tell me what you would do if you were to renovate this house. That video reached him, right? With the correct hashtags and stuff. So, you know, your whole thing is to get more business. You know what I mean? And this happened to Wendy and myself. Like we got so busy with all this real estate business, all these leads that we came through, that we couldn't cater to them all. And then we had agents also reaching out to us, you know, how are you doing so much production? How are you doing this? How are you? I'm like, well, this is what I do. And then they're like, well, can I join forces with you? Yeah, sure. Like I wasn't looking to make a team. It just happened, you know? So now, you know, Wendy has an amazing team. I have an amazing team. You know, and then we're like, here you go. Who wants this lead? It's like we're like Oprah. You in a car, and you in a car, and you in a car. but it said you in a lead kind of a thing. So, again, it's all strategies and I hope that you guys use them. I don't know if we have more questions. Let me see. What
What
other
about watching all the funny puppy videos, commenting on things we enjoy versus business? Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, because if you have
Yeah.
a dog, especially if you have a puppy and stuff, then you're creating an audience, Then like if people go on your profile and they see you walking your dog, they're like, okay, that's why she liked and commented because she has one of her own. You know what I mean? So be intentional when you like comment and stuff too. You know what I mean? I mean, you can like comment whatever you want to, but for growth, be intentional.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? We have 10 minutes. If you want it, you got it. If not, we will all just get to work. So just go ahead and unmute, ask anything you want. Feel free to share your socials in the chat. We'll
Yes.
follow you. I haven't seen anybody do that yet. Okay, yes.
So,
We can't hear
Oh, we
you
can't
very
hear
well.
you. It's very super low.
Yeah.
Is this
Oh, there you
better?
go.
Can you hear me
There
better?
you
Yes,
go. There you
better.
are.
Okay, okay. I thought I had switched it to just my computer. So I'm trying to find on the on my Instagram page to search the things that are trending. And I did take a little step back towards the end of this, so I don't know if I missed it, but would you be willing to just kind of do that live, like walk through where that is? Like
Yeah,
how
let me see. Let me see if I
how
can.
you
Because I'm
said
on a Yeah, because I'm on a desktop right now. Let me see if I can, because it's different on a desktop versus your phone. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I'm on a desktop.
So,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
are you
let
trying
me.
to search for, I can share my phone screen.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
I'm
could.
on the desktop trying to search for the one you said of like real estate tips, just kind of pop that up and see what's trending. And then it's and the audio, you mentioned the audio.
Yeah, let me see. So, hold on.
So you're on your desktop looking for it?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
on my desktop looking for it. So if you go to, let me see, probably explore. You go to explore, or no, sorry. It's your dashboard. It should be your dashboard. So because I have Zoom running, it's like slow, but it's going to be your dashboard on the desktop. Hold on a second. Like you see how you have the stuff on the left side of your desktop, home, search, explore, reels,
Yeah.
messages. So if you go to dashboard, it should be on there because that's how it is on your phone. It's in your dashboard in the
Yeah, it
trends.
doesn't really pull it up
Do you want to share your screen, Riz,
on
and
the
show them? Or do you
dashboard.
want me to
Yeah.
share my Instagram and you could tell me
Yeah,
what I...
yeah. Let's do that. Let's do the phone. Because I think maybe it's gonna work on the phone.
Well,
Oh,
she
okay.
said she was on... Okay, so you want to do it on the phone? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it on the phone.
Alrighty. We are going to go to advanced.
I'm using my phone as the webcam, so I can't do my phone right now.
Welcome to Tech Tuesday.
Tech
Oh, wait,
Tuesday.
it's Thursday.
How to use your phone as your webcam.
Okay, let's see if this will work today. I'm sharing phone screen. I trust you. I trust it. Hold on. Can you see that?
No, it's saying start
Nothing?
sharing double. Okay, let me see.
Nothing?
Let me go back on mine because let me see. It should, I think what I showed you was like desktop. You know what I mean? It was not,
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, it
It
was
looked
mobile.
oh,
Yeah.
it looked
But
more like the
it should be
desktop,
your
but
dashboard. But I think because, on the dashboard, you can't really do a lot of like posting and stuff. Like you don't have that many options, I feel like, on desktop, versus your phone.
okay.
So
Okay.
because I don't go through my desktop and share it that way.
Yeah.
I go through my phone. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm always on the
everything's so
go.
much easier on the
So I'm
phone.
not really sure. Like if you go to dashboard there, Wendy, if you go to dashboard, I don't know if it'll show you there. Because again, like it's easier to post from your mobile and they want you to be on mobile, you know? Yeah, see, it's just like add tools and insights. So I would
Right.
say no. I
But
don't know. I don't think you
if
could
you
do it
go
on
to
the desktop.
search, if you go to search, oh,
See, search is just search, you know?
Yeah.
search people, but if you did like realtor in Colorado. Okay, so that's finding people, but that's not what you wanted. You
Yeah.
wanted to do like create, post. Um,
Maybe if you go on the explore tab, the explore tab might show like stuff there. But again, it's going to be what you kind of search for or what they Instagram
yeah,
thinks
I
you might
never do
like.
anything on my computer with this.
Yeah, same.
So easier on the phone. Mine's
Yeah.
on the
I
phone.
mean, if we find it on the desktop, we'll let you know for sure.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like I said, we don't really use that, you know what I mean? So that might
Okay.
be a little bit
Well,
hard.
I'm looking on the phone, so I'll work on that and see
Yeah.
if I can figure it out on
But
the
yeah,
phone.
if you like go to so when you're on your phone,
Yeah.
the search button at the bottom, you're gonna click on that and then you're gonna type
Oh.
in like luxury homes, luxury homes. Okay, and then when you go here, this is where you can click on reels
Oh
and see
yeah.
all the different reels and you'll see all their numbers. Oops. Sorry.
Right, right.
See all their numbers at the like how many views. So,
Cool.
wow, I did all that and my phone was like outside the camera. All right.
That's cool. Thank
Anyway,
you.
well, thank you guys for coming. Hope you got some good stuff out of this and we'll see you at the next event. All
Yeah.
right.
And
Thank you.
also I forgot to put my YouTube on there, but you can follow the expand levels. I'll put it up here real quick. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, like we're gonna send out the replay because it was a lot of information. I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
going to
yesterday
send
and
out
today.
the slide deck, both of our slide decks, and the videos, and our socials, so
Yeah.
you can follow.
Yeah.
Sound good?
And that way you guys can follow us. And like I said, just comment on like our Instagram stuff and say, hey, join the class or whatever. And then we'll make sure that we follow you guys back.
Yes, perfect. Love it. All right. Well, have a great day, you guys. Have a great week, and talk to you soon.